What are you treating as rejection that actually isn't? I'm Rick from thrivingnow.com, and this is Kathy from theintimacydojo.com. And it's an interesting question,
It
isn't
really
it? Because I
is.
think our body responds to anything that's a no, like it's a rejection.
Or pulling, like if I'm sitting here going like this,
Uh,
and then I pull away before you're completely done, it's like, ah.
yeah, there's a feeling. We pick up the change from closeness and moving together and finding agreement to something that's moving away.
Especially around anything that has scarcity, touch, affection, attention.
Sex. Yeah. So one of the things that I'm going to explore with Kathy here, and I want to invite you to consider for yourself, what is it that as you look at it in your life that you experience like, oh, that's rejection, but maybe it's not. Does anything come to mind?
Yeah, just like I know that if I'm really enjoying being close to someone, I love touch. Touch is one of my primary love languages. If I'm enjoying the touch and they move away and I don't know why, I'm like, oh, my first thought is a sense of shame because there was a lot of scarcity when I was growing up and a lot of withholding as punishment, versus, oh, he's adjusting his body to be comfortable. Let me see if he still wants to engage in maybe a different way. But I've also been on the other side holding someone's hand where I'm like, dear Lord, my hand is cramping. It's getting sweaty. Are they going to finally, maybe they'll pull away first. Whereas, like, oh, if I just said, my hand is getting crampy, how can we link arms instead? Like, I'd still like to be connected. That would have been much more authentic and real and maybe more gentle for that person rather than, I think that people can tell when you're you're like, oh, you're trying to endure something.
Yeah, to use a kind of a weird example, if I have a friend and they're arriving home from work and they're coming over to have dinner together and we're planning to have a good time, and I meet them at the door and they're like getting stuff out of the car and I say, hey, would you like a hand? No, I got it. What does that mean?
Are you mad at me? Did I do something wrong?
Right. And one of the things that's really helped me is that if I'm in relationship with someone, meaning that if I said, hey, do we have a relationship? They would say, well, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
It doesn't mean a
friendship.
love relationship or a sexual relationship. It's just like,
But it can, yeah.
are we wanting to relate to another? That means that we have a relationship. If anyone is like that I choose not to see it as rejection. I may feel it but I'm choosing not to label that. I consciously, mindfully keep reminding myself that in a relationship of any kind, there are moments when I need to take care of myself. There are moments when I'm not tuned to where another person is.
Right. It could be that your friend just
Hi,
had
welcome.
maybe they just had a really bad day and they need a few more minutes to themselves.
Exactly. So they may need solitude. They may need time to just kind of take care of something. Maybe they're so tired that just focusing on getting everything in from the car is all they can deal with. They can't deal with,
Someone
welcome,
else help
hi,
me.
good to see you. That may come 5 or 7 minutes later. And I've noticed that with people that relate intimately when they're allowed to be themselves.
Yeah.
And we take this artificial rejection out of the equation.
Yeah.
What ends up happening is that we relax. When we feel rejection, we choose to come within, like sometimes I'll tap my collarbone point if like someone was a little bit edgy or sharp with me. Like, would you like a hug? No. Okay. Thanks for taking care of yourself. And I need to settle myself in. But it is, I believe, immature in the development of your own intimacy to view other people saying no that are they want to relate to you. If you view them saying no to you as rejection, that's really harsh. It would be treating them like being cruel to you for not saying yes.
Or speaking their own truth. Like if they say what's true for them, like, I don't want to kiss you, I have a cold, I can't breathe. Like, but you have to kiss me to prove you love me. Like, No, they need to take care of themselves. And I grew up in a family where saying no was just never done. You just did not do that.
Right.
Unless you were so mad at them and they, so when people would not be as warm, like we talked about people kind of going through ebbs and flows. I had someone who was a really good friend, and I was at a conference and I saw them and I was like all excited to see them, and they were like, and I was like, wow. And in the past, I would have been angry, sulked, been ashamed, pulled away. And I was just like, wow, I wonder what they're going through. I've done a lot of tapping on these things. But it was amazing to me. It's like a little while later, they came back around and they were like, acted perfectly fine. But if I'd already gone through my whole, I've been rejected and hurt and wronged thing, it wouldn't have eased as quickly.
And, later on, if you're not bringing your own rejection into it, then you can say, hey, when you're arriving home and you're in that kind of mode, what do you have a sense of what you'd like from me?
Yeah.
So people that I can have that conversation with, I'm able to intimately engage with what would be beneficial to you, to me, and the relationship. I need transition time when I get back from work. How about if I signal when I'm ready to engage, unless I say, help? And I have that with some people. Yeah. And that's if I make it about, do you still love me? Or like, oh, I was really looking forward to greeting you at home and you just didn't give me anything. It really is now you're saying I'm hurt and I need you to reassure me. There's nothing wrong with that.
But I think there's a lot of attaching meaning to it.
Yes.
It's like and humans do that, we're human, but it's like if I get this, then this is proof that I'm a good person or I'm loved. If he hugs me the minute I see him, then I can check that box off versus this person loves me. They're in my life. They're coming into my home. Like
I have people that allow me into their home when it's messy or they're messy. They're crying and snotty crying and they don't feel good and they have nothing to offer, but they know that I'm not going to treat them sitting across the room and not like this
not
together,
in each other's laps,
right? As rejection. Mm-hmm. And, just to be practical, is there such a thing as rejection in my world? Absolutely. There are people that do not want to relate to me. They don't want a relationship with me, a friendship, a business. They don't want to do business with me. They don't, and that's okay. Because if I keep that as rejection, it's information I need to say, oh, I don't really have to pay attention to that person. Just be civil. And I'm not trying to make something when there is an actual rejection. It's like, I don't want to relate to you. Everything else, for me, if we're relating, it's exploring where our yeses are. What are the things we want and are able to put into the possibilities, and then relating from there. And it does take an awful lot of the pressure off.
Yeah. I think, I don't know if you're up for it, but can we come back and maybe tap on this? Because I think it's something that so many people have patterns around.
Absolutely.
Okay. Please leave comments below and watch for the next video.